Hi everyone, this is Dr. Jamie and I am the founder of the Rise into Wellness Plan, and today I wanted to come on here and talk about EBV and the connection between EBV and Hashimoto's thyroiditis. So what is EBV? So EBV is a member of the herpes family, and it's a virus that many of us are exposed to when we're young. But only for some of us, it causes symptoms or can become reactivated. And so symptoms of EBV include fatigue, enlarged lymph nodes, headache, flu-like symptoms, joint pain, and sometimes an enlarged spleen can occur too. So in people who have Hashimoto's, they can sometimes have reactivated EBV happening at the same time. And so it can become really important to know this and treat the EBV as well as treat the hypothyroidism. So with viruses, with any virus, it's in our body for our entire life. And so usually our immune system can keep it dormant and just keep it under control, and it doesn't cause symptoms. But with reactivated EBV, those symptoms can really come back and really flare up and make people feel really tired, have those flu-like symptoms and all those symptoms that I just mentioned. So the connection, or sorry, how do we know if you have EBV? And so EBV can be tested for with a blood test or in a stool test. So the panel that the blood test is tested with has 4 different immunoglobulins on there, and so you order that panel because you want to look at the pattern, and the pattern tells you if it's an acute infection, so something that's been going on for a few weeks, or if it's just a chronic infection. Like I said, the virus stays in our body for our whole life, and so do the immunoglobulins. So those are the immune system's response to fighting the virus. And so those may be in our body forever, and so sometimes you can see those on a panel like this, and it doesn't necessarily mean that the virus is reactivated. But as part of this panel, there is one marker on there that I look for to see if it's a reactivated infection and if we really need to do anything about it. And so that's called the early antigen. So that's a really important marker on a panel, or to include on a panel, because that's kind of the one. If the other ones are elevated and this one is elevated too, then you know that it's a reactivated EBV infection. And like I said, you can also test for EBV in a stool test. And so I use the GI map as a test in my Rise into Wellness plan. So that's one of the labs that we do. And on this one, it'll look for the EBV antigen in the stool, as well as CMV, I believe, too. So that's just another viral infection that can become a chronic viral infection. And so, yeah, so those are 2 ways that you can test for it. You can do blood test or stool test. And so the connection between Hashimoto's and EBV is that it affects our immune system, and our immune system attacks the thyroid because EBV likes to kind of hide out in the thyroid, the gut as well, which is why gut health is really important in treating EBV too. But it likes to hide out in the thyroid, and so what happens is the immune system needs to attack the virus, but in that process it also attacks the thyroid, and so you can get less thyroid hormones and just lowered thyroid function. It also can affect our immune cells, so our T cells and our B cells, and those can become primed to attack different receptors, like thyroid receptors around the whole body, so they don't have that activity around the whole body, and so then that's how you can get lowered thyroid function too. Or they can also become primed to attack the thyroid, or enzymes too that help to convert thyroid hormones into active thyroid hormones. So there's a few different ways that you can get lower thyroid function with EBV. And so some ND approaches, some natural approaches that I usually take with patients and clients, there's a lot of different ones. So there's some dietary things you can do. There's some herbs and supplements that you can do. Sometimes I even will use prescription antivirals. So number one would be rest, I would say. Number one lifestyle treatment would be rest. And a lot of people who have reactivated EBV do feel tired. So getting enough sleep at night, napping, just resting, not overexerting yourself, as far as like exercise or anything like that. So resting becomes really important because it really supports your immune system and helps it fight the virus. Dietary measures would be high lysine and low arginine. So one way that you treat any viral infection really is to try and prevent viral replication. And so the virus needs arginine to replicate. And so that's why you do have low arginine in the diet and high lysine because the lysine is going to help prevent that replication too. So lysine is found in dairy foods. So I usually recommend including those in the diet if you're not allergic to them or if they don't, cause any gut issues for you. Fish, seafood, and fruits and vegetables. So having those just be really prominent in the diet can help give you a lot of lysine and prevent that viral replication. Arginine, so having these things be lower in your diet can be helpful. And peanuts, and really a lot of different kind of nuts like almonds, cashews, pecans, walnuts. So those also contain arginine. Sunflower seeds too. And also decreasing or just avoiding altogether things that like chocolate, sugar, alcohol, and caffeine. So those if you're fighting an infection, having low amounts of those are always recommended. So herbal antivirals, there's a few different ones that you could use, including St. John's wort, lemon balm, astragalus, echinacea, olive leaf, licorice. I do like to use that too. And some of these are also really good for helping to support the adrenals. And so supporting the adrenals is part of supporting the thyroid too. So I like those because it will support the thyroid, adrenals, and immune system. And yeah, so those are some antivirals that are really helpful for fighting infection too. And monolaurin. So monolaurin it comes from coconut, but what it does is it helps to break up the capsule of the virus. So one of the challenges that your immune system has in fighting a virus is getting through that outer capsule. So the monolaurin can help break that up so that these treatments can really get in there and kill the virus. And like I said before, sometimes I'll use prescription antivirals too. So things like acyclovir or valacyclovir. And I'll use those just in a low dose for a short amount of time because those can really help prevent that viral replication, help patients feel better, and then help the rest of these treatment options work better too. So I'll use them especially if symptoms are really severe because they can really help people feel better at least right away until some of these treatments start kicking in and they start to feel the benefits of those. So that is the connection between EBV and Hashimoto's thyroiditis and some ND approaches that I usually take with patients. So I hope this helped you, and if it did, let me know. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. So thanks for watching. Bye-bye.